during his time, if he gets through to her, she'll remember him with such poignancy that likely she will become amazing.
I would love to start with you, Mr. Fraser. Your movements in this movie tell a complete story. They are laborious and they are painful, and we literally feel them through the screen. And so I'm wondering what some of the notes were that Darren gave you early in the process as you guys were trying to figure out the prosthetics and capture or achieve what he wanted to capture.
It's interesting because when we did the first makeup test, it took 6 hours to get into it. Mm-hmm. Eventually, I got it down to 4 when we worked on the day, and about an hour to get out of it. But that it was built 1-to-1 to be cumbersome for the actor to wear, that it was fabricated with such an exacting attention that the size and placement of the very pores itself on his body and the applications that went on to me, all in service of authenticity, always with the mandate that the look of this character obey the laws of physics and gravity, whereas we don't really see that done previously in films, which are often in service of a one-note joke and a little bit mean-spirited, in my view.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. This is clearly not that. A simple thing that we learned was that unless Charlie's fingers were active a little bit, where there's some tension in there or they were I could never just let them rest as you would do without your eye going to it and going, that may look a bit like a fabrication or
interesting.
You needed to be vital inside of it all. And we had Darren Aronofsky, who said to me in this ear that if he was not a film director, he would have been a baseball umpire, because he sees everything. That I can attest. Like 360, fisheye, take it all in, sharp relief. He knows the answer and he knows the call from home plate, but he's also a great coach, a great collaborator. And once we had the body of Charlie and his corporal being down, then we can go work more internally. And that's the domain of what Sam Hunter has written and worked on for many years for the productions of The Whale that were on stage that have been adapted for the screen for the first time by him.
Right. And Sam, to that end, it's rare to get to the end of a story and then just so desperately need to know what happens next. And I'm curious if you have thought at all about where Ellie goes, and maybe even had some conversations with either Sadie or Darren about them.
Not really, not that I can recall. I mean, I think there's just, I think with all of my plays, I never really make decisions about what happens afterward. You know what I mean? I think storytelling is kind of the amazing thing of it is like you just get this like section of this person's humanity, and it's not my job to deliver anything other than that section. And in fact, if I were to like say anything or impose upon that, I think that's kind of taking away something for the audience. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I'm only giving them a specific, limited portrait, and I think that's what I love about drama, is that like there's so many different perspectives, there's so many different voices. Like there's no authorial voice. Or at least there shouldn't be in dramas. There shouldn't be an authorial voice telling the audience what to think or what to believe or what to feel. I think that's up to the very complicated matrix of these 5 people.
Oh my God, we didn't discuss it, but it keeps me up at night. I have no clue. I think there's so much potential in Ellie to, be a really honest, good person. Brendan's theory is that she becomes this incredible, strong writer, goes on to be an author. There's another theory that she just continues on her bad path. I think I do have hope in her after this week that she has with Charlie. I think she learned a lot about herself and was able to kind of let her guard down, but most importantly, just get closure from her relationship with her father. But yeah, who knows what's next for Ellie? Hopefully all good things.
No, I know. In a way, I want to see it, but I don't want to see it.
Right. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I let my imagination go a little bit wild, Sam, to tell you the truth, because I believe that Charlie believes in his daughter, not just because she's his daughter, but I do firmly believe that he realizes that, yes, she will care about people. Yes, that people will love her. But yes, he also realizes she's talented in ways that she is not even aware of yet. And during his time, if he gets through to her, she'll remember him with such poignancy that likely she will become the amazing author, great mind in the making of how she just even represents herself when she scribbles something in a notebook that turns out to be, whether it's by design or accident, a pretty clever haiku. She has poetry within her. She has unrealized potential. And that's how I feel. I feel aspirant and positive about what became of her after her clearly a portrait of her fraught youth and understanding herself and her father.
People are incapable of not caring.
In this story, I really do feel like Charlie's apartment was, something that we felt. And so I'm wondering, as performers, and maybe Sadie, start with you, can you be inspired by a location? Can you play off of a set the way that you would like a human co-star?
Absolutely. I think for Ellie, the apartment's tricky because when she walks into the apartment, she's looking at everything that her father left her for. So it's a really dark space for her to be in, but I remember the first day that we got to see it all with the set dressing, the props, everything. It was like a playground. It was so fun. But yeah, I think part of just kind of staying in that one space, it gets, you have to be a little creative for Darren and Maddie, the DP, the angles that they use, and for us, where we were walking, what space we were utilizing. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the apartment is definitely a character of itself.
How did you feel that way as well too, when you had to spend time in the apartment? Did you feel as constrained as I think we all are supposed to?
That was definitely intentional, and I think also because Brendan's character is pretty stationary for a lot of the story, we sort of had to orbit him, and part of rehearsal was just figuring out what the best way to do that was.
Liz in this movie is such a complicated character, and her relationship with Charlie, of course, is extremely complicated. And I'm wondering, at what point in the process did you feel like you fully understood her, or did you ever get to that point?
I think I did. I understood the complexity of that relationship where Liz at times was an enabler for Charlie. In my own life, I've definitely had to tell family members, you need to go to the doctor. Why haven't you gone to the doctor? And so that rang so true to me, those moments, and even the moments when she's bringing him food that's not really healthy, and I just think they have such a long history with each other, and a complicated and painful history that they share, that she really wants to comfort him in any way that she can. And so I think because she's doing it out of love, it can really blind her to just, the unhealthy aspects of it.
Brendan, they're kicking me out. I just need to know, were those your feet that stepped into the ocean? Did you get to do that? And was it rewarding?
Indeed they were. That was a nice day at the beach. And I should say also, that's Sadie's little sister playing little Sadie.
Is it really? That's great. Keep it in the family.